Oh yeah.
Let's be out.
Hey everybody, we're here, we're in the studio. It's Dr. Intimacy. Look who I got with me. Mr. Cedric
The entertainer.
Lyons, aka Bench Warmer, host of
411 Sports Talk Radio.
411 Sports Talk Radio. So we're gonna be talking man cave mentality tonight and whether or not a man is more attracted to sports than his woman. How can you get your man's attention? How can you become more important to him than his basketball game? So, huh?
I like stripper pole.
You like the stripper?
That's the man cave.
The stripper pole. Okay,
That's the
okay.
man cave.
Wow.
No sports we get done.
I don't know about anybody else, but well, anyway, I'll save that for the show. But I'm glad you guys are here. Tune in, put your comments in, call in, ask your questions. We're gonna have some fun tonight with our guests. Okay, so you good?
I'm good. I think so. At least that's what they told me last time.
I need my work books.
Yes. Speaking with your wife.
Oh, we got 1 minute, huh? 1 minute. Oh, those apps on your phone. You sure you got enough apps?
Hmm?
You sure you got enough apps on your phone? I mean, you apped up, ain't you?
Wait, it's not even my main phone. There we go.
Yeah, this song is so hot.
It is kind of hot. Huh?
You like this?
Yeah.
I like you, bro. I like you, man.
I'm about to steal some words. What folder I get them?
Alright, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Wait. Thank you, Father, for this opportunity to be a blessing to your people. Speak through us tonight and may your name get all the glory. Hallelujah. Amen.
Amen. Now jump out the whip. See, that's how you pray, right?
All
With
right.
R&B in the background, right?
All right.
Secular.
3, 2, 1.
All right, you are listening to Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio. That was Jump Out the Whip by, who's that?
Tadashi.
Tadashi. See, I was
Shout
about
out
to
Tadashi.
jack that.
I saw
name
Tadashi
up.
live before.
You did?
Yep, shout out to him.
Okay. Well, yeah, so this is Dr. Intimacy. That is the voice of none other than Jay Revival, our co-producer. Excited to be in the house. You're looking handsome tonight, Jay.
Oh, thank you.
You look kind of dap over there.
Appreciate it.
Since you turned that collar down.
I look, on the way here, I was thinking about doing, popping the collar. And then I said, what you think about this, Dr. Intimacy? She said, you look like a vampire.
He had a black shirt on with a collar on it when it was pulled up. It's like, I come to suck your blood.
I thought you were trying to do Fonzie or something like that. Chachi or something.
What was that, Dr. Intimacy?
That's the voice of a vampire. That's how they talk in the old school vampire movies. Isn't that right, Cedric?
You did it better than me.
I did.
That is. I said I can't get it no more.
I come to suck your blood.
Yes, that is right.
Well, that is the voice of none other than Cedric E. Lyons, host of 411 Sports Talk Radio, joining us tonight as my special guest. Thank you, Cedric.
I am so honored.
I'm honored to have you here. You've been starting trouble. I mean, ever since we decided we were going to do this show.
It ain't my fault.
It's not whose fault is it then?
I don't know. I don't never accept blame.
It's somebody's fault, but
Right, it ain't
certainly
mine.
not mine, right?
No.
I hear you. Well, you know, here in the Inspired Intimacy studio, we're having naked discussions about love, life, and intimacy. Hashtag no socks. Completely stripped down naked discussions. People come to get entertained, but they leave informed. And that's what we want to do tonight, talking about the man cave mentality.
All right. I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Well, I'm excited to jump into that. So, you do sports talk radio, so you're talking about sports all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So, why don't you just start off by telling me why sports is so important to men?
Because sports is a getaway from it sometimes. You know, you go to your job and you got a lot of stuff on your mind on your job, and you come home and you have to deal with a lot of things. So sometimes sports is just a way that you can just get in and not have to think about a lot of things. You know, so now that's what it was. That's what it's meant for. The issue is that you have men that take sports to a totally different level. I mean, a totally different level. And I have to say, I was one of those men.
Were you?
That took it to a totally different level.
Now, when you say totally different level, what do you mean by that?
Okay, so here's a casual sports fan. A casual sports fan will get in, you know, hey, the game is on. We get in, we watch the game, you know, the commercial is on. You go out and you hang out with your buddies or something like that. You watch the commercial and you come back, and you might not come back as soon as the game comes on. You know, just casual. We all sitting around hanging. You know, that's a casual sports fan. Then you have those that were like me. During commercials, I'm trying to figure out how is the team going to survive this next down. So don't talk to me during commercials. Leave me alone. At commercial time, I am studying the game. I am writing my X's and O's. I'm doing all this right here I gotta do. I don't need nothing to drink. I'm studying. I am studying. So when you want to talk to me during commercial, you're gonna get this right here. That little blind, you know, that little I ain't hearing you. You know, that's part of the casual. That's part of the non-casual fan. A casual fan will not necessarily watch the pregame show. You know, we'll just jump in when the game comes on and, you know, have a good time, you know, high five and everything. That's a casual fan, not me. I was one of those that watched the pregame, watched the postgame. I've got to figure out, you know, do they know what they're talking about? I was that type of fan. A casual fan will, okay, game is over. Hey, let's go, you know, play whatever. Let's go do something. You know, me, I had to go to the next game.
So let me ask you this: why is it that I know I'm not married anymore, but when I was married, my ex-husband didn't watch football too much because he said there was a season of his life where he was utterly obsessed with it. And he wasn't a casual fan, and he was kind of afraid to get back into it because he didn't want to become a
sucked back in.
Yeah, and he said that he would literally be depressed if his team lost. He would go into a depression. You know, why is it that men sometimes have like this emotional connection to their team?
Because sometimes that could be, and it's hard to say it like that, but sometimes that team is your quote unquote life. That team is your quote unquote, you know, you live and breathe and die. I mean, after football season's over, what do?
Right.
You know, now you're trying to figure out, okay, who do we draft? I was to the point to where I would go and figure out what's going on in college. Who do they need to draft to make their team better? Okay, so let me pick out my draft list. Okay, well, if they're drafting here, let's say if the Arizona Cardinals are drafting number 1 and the Cowboys are drafting number 5, let's see, who do we do? What do we do? Who do we maneuver to get that fit? You got fans like that, you know, and then you have those that let me bet on the game, those Vegas fans that's betting on the game, and those that's important because now I need to figure out this is my money, you know. So you can get so deep into sports to where nothing else matters.
Right.
And then once you go there, then you're pretty much, I mean, I won't say you're lost, but you've pretty much lost all reality of what's really important.
Right. Now you said a mouthful right there, because what I saw in that and what I see in men sometimes that become obsessed with sports in that manner. Oh, we got a caller already. Jeez, we must be
into it.
Look, these callers are precious. I'm gonna take Hey caller, you're live on the air with Dr. Intimacy and Cedric E. Lyons, the bench warmer. Oh, now did that caller just hang up after we gave him all them props?
That was Charles.
Believe it. Stop it. Wait, we're laughing. Nobody's gonna understand that if they didn't see the show listen to Cedric's show last. See, I gotta pull myself together now.
Get it back. Bring it back.
No, okay. There was a lady that called in.
Bring it back.
There was a lady that called into Cedric's show last night.
It's Charles.
She was calling the wrong show.
She had the wrong number.
And she was so salty and honorary about it. She said, I was just waiting for you guys to get into it. She said, where Charles at?
Y'all having a good time over there. What y'all doing?
It was I'm sorry. I gotta pull it together. I was still laughing about it this morning because the comedian wouldn't stop.
Yeah, he just kept it moving.
He had a comedian on the show, and the comedian would not stop making jokes about that caller. So, don't say anything
I
else
will not.
about
I
Charles
promise.
Cedric.
I promise.
Nothing.
I
You understand
promise. You
me?
shouldn't have called in and asked for him either.
Because I totally lost my train of thought.
Okay, so we were talking about, I said something that rung a bell. Why is it so important for men?
I don't remember what I was saying.
All right, so why
Okay.
she's doing that? So, do it.
I think we were talking about men getting depressed. Oh,
Right.
you said when they become, thank you, Holy Spirit.
There you go.
You said when they become obsessed with it, that they become detached from reality. And what I was saying, what I see in men, and this is not only men, because if you're watching sports to that extent,
Extreme, yes.
it's an addiction.
It is.
And I think, men don't realize that sometimes, that they have become addicted to this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime you're addicted to something, it is to fill a void. It is
Right.
to escape reality.
Mhm.
Any type of addiction exists to escape
Absolutely.
reality, and it becomes a fantasy world where you are now in
Mhm.
control.
Right.
And so when a man's life is very chaotic, when his relationship is chaotic, when his finances are out of whack, when his health is out of whack, when he hates his job, when he's not walking in purpose, maybe, there are kids at the house giving him a problem, stepkids that disrespect him, whatever the case may be, that the more chaotic his life is, the more he wants to escape into
Right.
the fantasy world of sports,
Right.
where in his mind, he's not just watching a game, he's living a
Part of
different
it,
life
yes.
through those players.
Mhm.
Am I hitting on something?
You're right there. You're right there because I like I said, I was at that point one time, and we were at a friend's house, and it was the Cowboys and the Cowboys. Well, two different incidents happened. I'll give you the second instance. So we were at a friend's house, and the Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals playing, and Cowboys were trying to go to the playoffs. And so I'm just deep into it. I'm just deep into it, and everybody's talking behind me, but I'm just staying deep into it, not listening. I'm shutting everybody out. And so after the game, there was not another game coming on, and the post game had gone off. So what am I supposed to do? Okay, I guess I'll sit here and listen to everybody else. And one of the guys, he was one of our church members. He said, he never heard a word we said. I said, what do you mean? He said, yeah, we were talking about you this whole time, and we were standing right behind you, and you never moved, you never blinked. It was like tunnel vision. And he said, Cedric, you really have a problem.
Wow.
You really have.
So your buddy said that to you?
Yes. He said you really have a problem. And at that moment, it really takes a man to say this to another man about sports.
Okay.
A woman cannot say this to another man about sports. It takes a man to say this to another man. So when he said that to me, I really had to think about what he was talking about. And and at this time, my kids were little. So I've seen men lose children over this. Where you grow up thinking on this level to where you don't realize what's going on with your kids. So at that moment I said, you know what, I gotta change. I've got to change. So I had to dial back my sports mission to just, okay, Cowboys. After that, I have to leave it alone. Because I was one of those pre-game, post-game, Sunday night, the news comes on, I got to see what the news channels are, and then Monday night football, and then after Monday night football, you got the show. There at the time it was HBO Sports, which is on every Wednesday. So I was on the HBO Sports every Wednesday, and then then you got Saturday, because Saturday you're getting ready for Sunday. And then Sunday, I changed my schedule up to go to church early in the morning on 7 o'clock service. So at 10, I'm at home at 11, ready for the sports to go on.
Well, I'll do that now. So.
I mean, I've learned. I control my drinking. One glass a day.
Oh, my pastor's not listening. Listen, if the Giants are playing, I'm just not going.
You can go when the Giants are playing. You'll be all right.
No, that is listen. I'm from New York, born and bred. That's my
it's
team.
in your voice, but that's okay.
That's my team.
You can still go
I
with
do love the
Giants.
Cowboys, but living down here in Dallas, of course, everybody there, the Cowboys fans. Of course, the Cowboys are wonderful. I love them. But the thing of it is that if you don't live in the state of your team, you don't get to see all of the good stuff, and you don't even get to see all of the games. So if a game is actually
Giants
broadcasted,
don't have a lot of good stuff, so you're all right.
know.
Cedric's just like,
We're gonna go to break.
You gotta
right
deal with
now.
Eli
Zeke,
Manning.
he's just thinking he's talking about Zeke.
We're going to break.
I'm gonna get
right
kicked out of the studio.
Don't be talking
Man
about.
cave talk is over.
Listen, don't be talking about Eli Manning just because Romo is all broke up and we got Dak Prescott in there now making the Cowboys look like a star.
She said we got a converter, y'all.
I can have one more football love, okay?
Okay, I'm gonna let you have that.
But
It's your show.
yeah, I know. I'm gonna hear it later for that. But let's go to a break. When I come back, I want to talk to the ladies also who may be feeling insecure. The subtitle of this show is my man more attracted to sports than me?
Right.
And I know sometimes a woman can actually feel that way, whether it's him watching sports or being involved in sports. Maybe, this extends beyond just the TV. When you have a man that's really into working out, or if he plays golf or basketball, or if he's into pool, it really could be any hobby. What if he's into cars, or mechanics, or, housework, do it yourself, whatever it is. Sometimes something can take the place, or a woman can feel like there's some activity or a hobby that has his heart, and it's almost like a way that he can cheat on her without it being with the woman.
Oh, you said something there.
Whoa, that's powerful. That's powerful.
So we're going to talk about that when we come back. If you want to call in and jump in on this naked discussion, 214-431-5062, call in. Do you think it's possible for a man to be more attracted to sports or his hobby than his actual woman? Call in, Facebook Live, speak to us, 214-431-5062. This is Dr. Intimacy, host of Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio, where we're having naked discussions. We'll be right back after this.
And make sure Charles don't call in. See, you know when you said that, this was part of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, what do you mean by that?
Well, with my first wife, I started this, and in starting this, it became this became my baby, so to speak. And so she had made mention.
Wait, I'm sorry. Somebody sent me something that completely took my mind.
Okay.
Wow, that's a picture of me.
Where?
I did a photo shoot some years ago. I never knew what they did with it. It's right there.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
My friend sent it to me.
That's pretty funny.
Hey, Facebook Live.
Did they do a release?
You watching me.
Did you sign a release?
I did. I got paid for it.
Oh, shoot. That's all right.
Can't stop feeling. What's going on here? I have to be able to see my Facebook Live comments, so like you can't keep the phone the whole time. You can do little clips from your phone,
Gotcha. I try to do.
Because I like to interact with the people. That's why I went to commercial break, so I can tell you that.
Gotcha.
So you can take a few pictures and stuff, but then I need to get the phone back. Unless you start bringing your tablet, I need something in front of me so that I can communicate with
The tablet is it's too the camera's too bad, but you can communicate. That's good. That's a good point. Today was the first day in a while I haven't brought the tablet. Shucks.
Oh, hey, we see each other. Hey, you can see.
Oh, there we go. Now I can see my comments. Hey.
You see the screen and everything. See through the.
What's wrong with being passionate about sports? Right now, yes, Cowboys only in this house. Seems like y'all giving a psychiatric diagnosis for a passionate sports fan. Anthony. I like the headline. LOL. I have to pay attention to sports. It's how I eat.
I was a sports fan like that.
Consumed.
Oh yeah,
consumed.
Listen, I haven't watched sports. I mean, I should be saying this over air, but I haven't watched sports in years, and I still can tell you pretty much every person that played
but see,
when I was younger.
Sometimes you grew up in that whole environment, like your grandfather.
Yes.
You watch your grandparents.
Yep.
You watch
Yep.
your father and your mother, all of them, and you just grew up in that whole.
Even the women.
Or listen, my brother used to report for the Star Telegram. He covered the Cowboys.
Wow.
You know, the moment I was able to go into Valley Ranch, he had the key.
Dang.
I was like, "You got the key to Valley Ranch? Oh, it's on." Wow. You know, so I mean, you could be consumed, and it can. You know, the reason why I stopped is because my kids. I didn't want my kids to be
like that.
Well, it's not that I didn't want my kids to be like that. I wanted my kids to have a relationship with me. You can't have a relationship with someone who's consumed with sports to where everything else is out. There's no way in the world you can have that type of relationship.
All right, let's keep ready
All
to
right.
go back on.
All right, 3.
We'll come back with the,
1. Here we go.
the cheating on me.
Ooh, I love that song. That is so fun. Feel good song. What's the name of that again?
Can't Stop the Feeling by Justin Timberlake.
Hey,
Justin.
woo woo woo. So, this is Inspired Intimacy. I'm your host, Dr. Intimacy. We got co-producer Jay Revival in the house, announcing the songs, doing the technical board back there.
On the ones and twos.
Getting it done. Don't forget about our website, inspiredintimacy.com. You can get all of our archives and replays there. Check out my books there on the website.
Go buy.
But I have with me tonight my special guest, Cedric E, Lyons, host of 411 Sports Talk Radio, and also owner of Sports Entertainment. This is 411 Sports Entertainment. Yeah, this is a little magazine. This looks awesome.
No,
it's a newspaper?
It's the only African American newspaper in the nation, or the first African American newspaper in the nation. Recognized.
Really?
Yes, it is.
That is such an honor. I didn't know that. That is amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how long have you been doing this newspaper?
Since 2004, 12 years.
12 years. Fist bump.
There you go. It's been some time.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's really awesome. So you got excited when I said that. I made the comment that sometimes sports or a man's hobby, but we're talking specifically about sports tonight, can be a way for him to cheat on his woman without it being with another woman. And that excited you. Why?
Well, because in my first marriage, okay, so let me kind of give you a quick scenario. The paper, the thought of the paper came to me in '93. And so in '93, I just started, dabbling here and there. I got married in '94, and let me deal with my family. I'm just dabbling here and there, here and here. We actually established the company in 2000. The moment we established the company, I really started diving into this, and a lot of that it took time away from, my first wife. And a comment that she made was, and it stuck to me. She was like, "Well, why are you?" She was like, "Why are you cheating on me?" I was like, "I am not cheating on you." I was adamant, "I'm not cheating on you." She said, "What is that?" And she pointed to the paper. Because I was consumed with, 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to get this thing done. I'm trying to get this thing done. And I started saying, "Well, we can have a threesome."
We can have a threesome. Oh, wow.
Anyway, but so when you said that just brought me to that, because you're right. When we use sports to get away from reality, what reality are we getting away from, and what hurt are we trying to cover up? Because sometimes I can get into the TV, and when I get into the TV, I'm oblivious to everything else that goes on around me.
Right.
And there are things that I may not want to talk about, so I'm into the TV, so I'm not talking about it, or I'm into my hobby or something like that. I'm working on a car or something like that. I'm going out to play golf or something like that, or I'm just doing whatever, so I don't have to deal with that particular pain or that particular hurt or that particular reality that I don't want to have to deal with. The problem is that you got to turn the TV up.
Right.
The problem is that you can't fix on a car all night long.
Right.
The problem is that you can't do that. You can't. Golf is only a 4-hour game, unless you want to do another round, and that's 8 hours. But then they shut the club down. So you can't do that on a consistent basis. So you still have to deal with that particular reality.
Right.
And then that's when you start drinking. And then you go to sleep after that.
I mean, at some point in time, you have to stop doing what you're doing to escape reality. And what's really interesting, and I wonder if you have experienced this or even are aware of it. But like with that sport obsession being an addiction, okay, addiction is a nature. It's a nature, it's a spirit, and that's why people, if they don't really get delivered or healed from the root cause of addiction, they may say stop smoking crack, but they smoke weed.
They do
they
something
might
different.
Stop smoking weed, but then it's alcohol. They'll stop the alcohol, is cigarettes.
There's a supplement to that.
Not cigarettes, it's sports. If it's not sports, it's the gym. You know, it's that spirit of addiction will follow you from activity to activity to activity. And what was really interesting, I just now thought about this as we were talking about, talking about addiction in sports. And my ex-husband, he stopped watching football so much, but he still had that same addictive nature. And you know what made me think about it? You said you'll keep doing this and then you'll go to bed. I would be waiting, late into the night for him to come into the room, and he would just be cleaning. He would just be mopping.
Don't even go there.
Doing laundry and, just fiddling around. And I would be waiting like, hun, are you coming to bed? Are you coming in the room? Like, what's going on? And he would just stay out there so long until like there was nothing else to do. And he would come in the room so tired, like I'm doing the air quotes, so tired that he just goes straight to bed, afterwards. And so it was like that addiction that he had for sports was moved into
something else.
Yeah, it was moved into a domestic side because he anyway, that's a long story.
Yes.
But I just saw it move from one activity to the next, and it was like a way that he was able to avoid time with me.
And you just said something is that avoidance. There's sometimes. Okay, I'm gonna give you this right here. We're gonna go spiritual real quick, okay? Okay, so let's go back in time for a second. Way back in time, when there's Adam and Eve. Okay, so Adam was told, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do. Okay, and then he told Eve, babe, this is what you're supposed to do, this is what you're not supposed to do. Okay, what happened in the process of him knowing what to do and him not doing what he's supposed to do? Well, and Eve gave him the fruit. So in the process of Eve handing Adam that fruit, what's that transition? What's that transaction? And why did Adam take that fruit? And this could be totally off the chart. But the reason why Adam may have taken that fruit, because he didn't want to hear from Eve no more. Let me just do it, so I don't want to hear. He didn't have sports then. He couldn't watch the Cowboys then. He couldn't. Probably wouldn't have had seeing Cowboys. Y'all should have been here. No, but he didn't have. There was nothing taking his attention away. And a lot of times, sometimes we don't feel like dealing with a lot of things that's on the table. And that's number one, fault of the man, because you're not standing up being a man.
Right.
But that's also looking at having and I can't talk for a woman, but from a woman's standpoint, she's got to step back and say, there's something wrong with my man that I need to figure out. And am I a part of what's wrong? Because if I am a part of what's wrong, then this is going to be a continual cycle, and this cycle will never relinquish itself. And then what's going to happen is going to get worse and worse and worse. And next thing you know, you'll be so deep in the mud that you can't even see how to get out.
That's right. A proverb is, look, I'm just really making this up, but a garden that is continuously neglected will be full of thorns.
You made that up?
I did, just right now.
Write that down.
Just right now.
Quotes.com, you hear that?
Yeah,
Steal that one from me.
A garden that is continuously neglected will be full of thorns. And when you hide in an activity like that, when you continuously indulge in a fantasy that you can control, your reality becomes worse and worse and worse. And the more chaotic your reality becomes, the more you want to hide in that fantasy. And the more you hide in that fantasy, the worse your actuality becomes. And so it works in a cycle. And that's what the enemy wants to do. He wants to draw you away from your reality. He wants to make this fantasy feel so good And it's really about control, and I really want to drive that home. I want people to understand that fantasy is all about control.
Because you can control the fantasy.
That's right. It's about living somewhere where you can control the outcome, you can control the chaos, that you can get the pleasurable end result that you want out of what you're doing. And you know, in life that takes work. When it's fantasy, whether it be football or working out or, you know, video games, you know, that's why grown men get addicted to video games. It's the fantasy, it's not the game, it's the escape.
PlayStation. No.
It's the escape. It's the escape from bills, from nagging, from kids, from health issues. It's the escape, you know, the reality of aging. It's the escape. And when I'm playing this game, I win. You know, I can win at
unless
it.
You're sorry.
Yeah.
They gotta get another reality.
Even if you're sorry at it, you get a chance to go
better.
back.
Yeah.
And that's the excitement of football. That's why a man is depressed if his team loses, because if the team wins, I win.
Because he's lost. His fantasy is not doing what it's supposed to do, but he has that opportunity to still get that. Okay, we got another week, so let's wait till next week. Let's get that. And so now I'm figuring out, okay, what can we do this week? So let me watch the practice. Let me watch the news and see what the Cowboys are doing and see if they're doing right. Okay, let me watch HBO and see what the HBO people are saying. Let me watch ESPN and see what Chris Berman, let me see what he's saying. You know, let me see what all the pundits are saying about my team. Let me see where they are in the rankings. And so now I get to the next week. And at the next week, I get to the point of, hey, it's another day. That's why you get all these fans thinking their team's going to go 16-0.
The 17-0.
Yeah.
And also talking about fantasizing about the team, what about fantasizing about you playing? You know, as if you were playing. Some people who are not as good enough to make it to the league, fantasizing as if they made it to the league. Because I know I am guilty. Like, if that was a sin, I'd be in hell for that.
That's why
Actually, the blood of Jesus.
That's why the bench warmer.
Well, they have this whole, I mean, we're talking about fantasy like this is some big revelation, but that's why the fantasy football league is so popular. You know, now they got fantasy.
I got 2 teams. Guilty.
I used to have 2 teams.
They got fantasy gambling. I mean, there's really a stronghold.
But here's the thing. Let's kind of dial us back for a second.
Okay, let's dial it back.
Let's dial us back for a second, because there's nothing wrong with wanting to get away.
Right. Okay.
It's a healthy getaway. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to go on a vacation, go on a vacation, because it's a healthy vacation. You know, as long as you can do the getaway and then get back in.
Ooh.
You know, then you're okay. But if you do the getaway and never get back in, then you got some issues.
Right.
So just like there's nothing wrong with having one drink, a cocktail or something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't overindulge. The Bible says, do not overindulge. Do not become drunk with wine. The phrase wine means don't become drunk with a particular activity that is not giving any type of glory to anything. But it doesn't say don't do it. It just says, you know, be moderate, in moderation. You know, so if I'm going to watch football in moderation. You know, if I'm going to go play golf in moderation. You know, now if you're making money for it, play golf every day of your life. Because that's part of your living, you know.
Right.
But don't go be consumed and overconsumed, especially if it takes you away from the real God. Because what you do is you make that God, your fantasy, that's your God. That's the one you serve. And so you're serving that particular fantasy in that particular sport. You're serving the Cowboys. You're serving the Giants. You're serving whatever team that is that makes you, quote unquote, be depressed when they lose.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody paying you no money.
Right.
You ain't getting paid for this.
Right. And you know what? Women may do that too. We don't do it with sports.
Shopping.
But, well, not only that, but even TV. You know, like if a woman really gets into a TV show, she really becomes connected to those characters. She doesn't want anybody talking to her when that's on. If somebody leaves, you know, it's depressing. So, I mean, we can do the same thing. It just looks different.
Yeah, but it's still the same. It looks the same cover. You put the same cover on, just on a different body.
Yeah, women can get into domestic things like that. Sometimes the women are addicted to taking care of their kids. That's how they hide.
Right.
By taking care of their children. They block their husband out by just pouring themselves into their children because they don't want to deal with issues in their relationship.
Another woman's addiction.
What's that?
Okay. Now, I'm not the woman's psychologist, you need a doctor, but you know, the Bible says that, you know, when God God said, Adam, what have you done? And Adam said, it's that woman you gave me.
Uh-huh.
The first words God ever spoke to Eve was, Eve, what have you done?
Uh-huh.
And then she put it off on the snake, on the serpent. And then he cursed the serpent. But then he also cursed the woman. You know what he cursed the woman with? Wanting to have that man's role. That's what a woman is more obsessed with. And so she can be consumed. That's where the whole control part comes in at. Let me find ways to control this man to get his role. And I've always said there are ways that you can go about getting what you want without even having to do anything. Mm-hmm. With being the servant that you can be. Because the Bible also says that you will win your husband over. Sometimes you can win your husband over with just silence. Silence and praise. Silence and deal with. Let me deal with me, and I can deal with him. If you deal with me, I'll deal with him, and I'll get him where he needs to be. So if he's got the addiction of sports, we need to figure out what that is, because it could be that she is so controlling, he's got to get out of there. And you can't control my quote unquote man cave, because it's set up as my man cave, so you can't control that. So how does she get in to get the things she needs as a woman, and how does she get him to stand up and be a man? Because she can have herself be his inspiration. Mm-hmm. But there's ways there are things she has to go about doing. You can't do it by nagging. You can't do it by, you're always on the TV, you're always on this right now, you're always doing this right, every time I turn around, you do this. You can't do it that way. You can't, there's a way you have to come at it. You can use your quote unquote feminine wiles to get your man to do the things you need him to do. Because the man can do the same thing. Use his servanthood to get his woman to do the things he needs her to do. And if both of you guys are serving each other, then y'all can both sit down and watch the game together and be cool. Or he can decide, babe, I don't feel like watching the game today. Let's go out and go to the party.
Right. Now I wanna address something you said a mouthful with the garden.
I stuck my foot in my mouth.
You stuck your foot in every man's mouth.
Sorry, homeboys,
A big toe with toe jam on it too.
I had that before. That ain't good. No.
But I love the book of Genesis and the whole dynamic with the man and the woman in the garden. It's something that I have looked at a lot. And you said that God cursed the woman with wanting to control her husband. And I just want to make an addendum to that, because the scripture actually says your desire shall be for your husband, but he will rule over you.
Right.
So God didn't curse the woman with wanting to control her husband. The curse that fell upon the woman, in addition to the difficulty with childbirth and the monthly cycle and all of that was all part of the curse. But
the menopause coming around.
The real curse that came upon the woman was that she lost the heart of her husband. That's what that scripture means. Your desire will be for your husband, but he shall rule over you. He will lord over you. In other words, the intimacy was cut off because she had caused him to lose the most important thing to him. He lost his provision. He lost his honor. He lost his relationship with his creator. And so because of an action that she did, he could no longer trust her with his heart. So she lost that place in his heart. And so a woman is not trying to control a man for the sake of having his role. No woman in her right feminine mind wants a man's role. She wants heart, but she doesn't understand how to recapture his heart. And so that's what happened in the garden. So the threat of the man cave, the threat of the sports addiction, the threat of golf, the threat of his obsession with cars, whatever it is, and his job, his business. The threat is that thing has your heart, and that's what I desire. I want to be in your heart. I want to be at the center of your heart. Because remember, a woman was taken out of man, that rib. And the rib is so important. That analogy, the whole picture of that is so important, because the rib represents what was close to his heart, what was closest to him. She just wants to get back in that place. And the man has filled that up with other things. But Now, it's important that you said that, because if you recognize that as a man and understand that we're not supposed to be living under the curse anymore, a man has to know how to invite his woman back into his heart, and it can't be with stipulations.
Right.
And so that's part of the problem sometimes, that we're working too hard to have his heart, but he's still lording over us. He's still ruling over us instead of giving his heart to us, yielding that heart.
All right, show is over.
So,
I stand corrected.
well, just more informed,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just a different perspective, you know, for men to
I should have been
understand.
taking notes or something like this.
Don't worry, you can listen to the replay tomorrow.
Okay. Have it translated.
Have a translator. Yeah, you know, and it's just really important to understand. I think, you know, a lot of the communication breakdown between men and women is because we really don't understand each other.
Right,
You know,
right.
men don't understand how women think, why they respond to things the way they do, and likewise, women don't understand what's important to men, why
Right.
they do the things
I
they
agree.
do. And we have a tendency to have a negative perception, or we will interpret your actions in a negative way. And
Right.
you will interpret what we do in a negative way. We don't know how to sit down and communicate and understand what's really happening.
And then you want to fight each other. When what's so crazy about it, you might be talking about the same thing, but it just sounds different.
Talking about the same thing,
Mhm.
want the same
Same thing, but it just sounds different, and it looks different, and you got different ways of going about doing it. And because there's that difference, you don't embrace that difference. Because you don't embrace that difference, and guess what happens? You wind up. What's so crazy about it? You wind up doing the very same thing you got a relationship for. There's a fable, a story that a man had these rules for his wife. Okay, there we go. Yeah. A man had these rules for his wife. You gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do this. And these rules went on for so long. Well, the man finally passed away, and she hated these rules. She hated doing it, hated doing it. But then she found another man, got married, and loved this man. And she wound up 2 or 3 years later, and the rules, I guess the rules were stashed away in a drawer or something like that. And she pulled the rules out, and she wound up going down the rules. And she found herself saying, you know what? The very thing I hated doing with him, I do that very same thing with my husband now, and I don't mind doing it. You know, because the atmosphere was different. So if the very thing you don't like, you do it again, if you change your atmosphere, you change your environment, you change there's no, I'm not making you do anything. You do what you want to do type of environment. You become free within your environment, then you wind up doing everything you hated and won't even mind doing it.
That's so true. That is so true.
And it's crazy that we do that, but we think we have to force somebody to do something. We think we have to make you do something. You know, I don't say, will you? I say, can you? Let me ask you. If you decide, and for men, you guys out there, can I speak to the men for a second?
Please speak to them.
Number one, men, I've always said this. We are, if something's not getting done in your household, that's your responsibility. Our responsibility is to make sure our household is covered and taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
If your clothes not getting washed, go wash your dang clothes. You got hands and feet. Your spouse may be tired. Your spouse may be, you never know. But you cannot jump on your spouse for some clothes not being washed or food ain't being. You got hands. You know, you're not crippled. You know, if you're doing those things, become a servant. If you become a servant, guess what? You can come home and you ain't got to do nothing because she got you covered. You know, but we sitting around there, oh, you better do this, you better, oh, my woman ain't doing this, my woman ain't doing this, my woman ain't doing this. Well, what are you doing?
Right.
You know, you sitting on the couch playing PlayStation, watching football, and the Cowboys still losing. so
asking her to bring you a beer.
Right. All those old Michelob, if y'all out, no. You keep crying a Coke, anyway.
What?
Nah, I'm switch. I'm going to communion now. Hey.
Commercial break.
You know, but you know, those that are obsessed, because I was one of those that was obsessed with sports, and I had to get out of that addiction. I had to get out of that, and there's always those points in life that says, you know what, you got to do something different. That point in my life was when that guy came to me and he said, look what's going on. And then he, turned me. I didn't want my children not to know their father. Me being in front of TV 25 days, 7 days a week, they would have known me. Now my kids, we have a great relationship. They want to be a part of the paper because we kind of grew up with it. I involved them into what we're doing. And, my son just, my son, all of them just want to be involved in it. Because I involved everybody, but I just didn't make it about the paper.
Right.
I made it about a relationship. And so you can still watch sports and make it about a relationship, but don't be too consumed with it.
Right.
For these ladies, how do you, and we'll deal with that on the other side for you ladies. How do you get your man, or how do you become a part of your man's life if he's a sports fanatic, or if he just loves sports?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that. You're right on cue, because that's where I wanted to go next. You were saying something real fun when we did the pre-show video, and you talked about the rules for the man cave.
Man cave rules.
So I want to talk about the man cave rules. I want to talk about how a woman can get a pass to come into the man cave. And understand, when we're talking about the man cave, not just the physical place, but even the concept of the man cave, really getting into that mental space in a man's head, how to be invited into that place. How can you win your husband's heart? How can you gain his trust? When you lose a man's trust, you have lost him. And I think women, they just don't understand that. When you lose his trust, you have lost his heart, and you have lost him. And when your woman loses your heart, you're going to lose her respect. So it's a really vicious cycle. If she's not being loved by you, you're not going to be respected by her, and the whole relationship just falls apart.
Absolutely.
And so, we want to talk about those man cave rules, or what a woman can do to gain access to the man cave, okay? And how can she get back into his heart? How can a woman really win her husband's heart? So let's talk about that after the break. I got my special guest, Cedric E. Lyons, in the house, host of 411 Sports Talk Radio, the award-winning 411 Sports Talk Radio. Yeah. Inspired Intimacy is award-winning as well.
See, 2 winners. There you go.
Woohoo! Fist bump.
No wonder this show's going so good.
Yes, thank you. And of course, we got J Revival, co-producer in the house. We're having naked discussions about love, life, and intimacy. #No socks. We'll be right back after this break to talk more about the man cave mentality.
I had to put this on, you guys.
Yeah,
I'm every woman.
Yeah, because we were talking about women and respect and the love.
Don't hold it against her.
I thought this was hot and it's fun.
It's definitely fun.
It's gonna be all right. So, am I doing okay?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Okay. Didn't want to overstep my bounds.
Doing absolutely fun. Isn't he doing great? Facebook Live.
And you were right about that. I did misspeak the desire part of it.
Oh, that's one of my favorite scriptures. I studied that thing to pieces.
Yeah, I did too.
I could write a book on it.
I'm doing my first marriage. I actually had to understand the whole divorce role. I had to truly understand it to know that, okay, is this okay or not? I really did. And I was like, okay, let's see what's going on here. So. Any good comments?
Michael. You know Michael Hilton? Is that one of your friends?
Michael Hilton.
Oh, we got a Saints fan, Sean Paul. Who that?
See, that's why
I
they
didn't know he's a Saints fan.
Who that? All he needs to say is hashtag who that.
That's me. That means that's okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
That's why he depressed.
We're talking about you, Sean.
I can understand.
Sakes.
Bring back them brown bags.
Oh man, not my mom and my dad depressed.
Yeah, they all.
My uncle, my aunt, my grandmother. No,
man. Just think, we was depressed for like 20 years.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we went through, and guess what? You better be glad you're in a Cleveland fan.
What if I told you I never was a Cowboys fan?
I'd believe that.
I've been trying to become them the past 2 years, but it's been difficult. I chose the Giants at the beginning of this season, but it's been difficult with them too.
See, first of all, you need to go to the other side of the street because you don't just choose. You grow up with.
And I grew up with the Saints.
Oh, that's why you're choosing someone else. I understand.
My ex-husband, that's born and raised in Brooklyn, was always a Cowboys fan. Was never a fan of the New York team.
Because the Cowboys always won.
That's true.
The Negroes have not won a Super Bowl in over 20 years.
We're talking about back in the day.
We're talking about in the 90s.
In the 70s.
But what have you done for me lately?
Like
Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately?
But the Cowboys, they string 5 Super Bowls. I mean, that last.
Sad. Even
Listen,
Bob Hayes.
All I can say is the Giants have more recently won a Super Bowl than the Cowboys. Matter of fact, they beat the Cowboys in the playoffs that year to make it to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
all said thinking about is Zeke and Dak.
I'll give you that, but what are they doing? What have you done for me lately?
Hey.
Well, I mean, Eli got 2 Super Bowl rings, so I ain't gonna be mad at you.
Don't be surprised if Cowboys lose every game after the 8th game.
Right.
November.
He got the head.
November.
Yeah, they will. He got the head gum, so that's how y'all won the Super Bowl.
This is the Cowboys' last week of winning. Hashtag Charlie Chin.
Hashtag hater. Hashtag saint. Hashtag brown bag with the eyes
covered in the blood. I'm a saint.
Hashtag no receivers.
Here we go.
You about to make me miss my cue.
Hashtag no running back.
Lock talk 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, this is Dr. Intimacy, host of Inspired Intimacy Talk Radio, broadcasting live every Wednesday night from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. Hey, Facebook Live, how you doing? Hey, I got my co-producer in the house, J Revival, my special guest, Cedric E. Lyons. It's going down tonight. We're having naked discussions about the man cave mentality. Is your man more attracted to sports than you? This has been very informative, very good. Cedric gives me a lot of trouble during the song breaks, though. I do want to let you know that. For him to actually be a professional, polished host, I'm really appalled at his behavior, so I just wanted to say that.
Hashtag nada.
No, he's definitely been a lot of fun in here, and just pulling from some of the nuggets of the things that you have written about in your newspaper over the years, 411 Sports Entertainment. You know, we're about halfway through too. I just want people to know how to contact you before we go on.
Okay, well, actually, you can go to my website. It's 411sportsnews.com. The website is the best way to get in contact with me because it has everything in there. It has our Facebook on there. It has our Twitter on there. It has our, my blogs or something like that if I want to do some writing. It has our show on there. So we're podcast through the website. Or you want to email me, you can email me at info@411sportsnews.com.
Okay, so 411sportsnews.com is how people can get in touch with you. And when does your show come on?
Now the show comes on every Tuesday from 7 to 9, and we get real. God is in there at the beginning, and then we tell him to hang on for a second because we're gonna need him when we finish.
Okay.
That's called "Please Lord, forgive me for my sins."
Okay. And then you have people calling in for other people's shows.
Yeah, you're going to call in. Where's Charles?
Now, Charles is my boy.
I got to get you back on track.
Well, no, I'm going to say something good about Charles now. I actually got their show started. Their show is amazing. It's actually King Charles' topic of the week.
Oh, okay.
The host name is King Charles, and his co-host is Golden Beauty.
Okay. All
right. His show comes on every Thursday from 7 to 9. They go on down through there just talking about all kinds of crazy, real stuff. It's a lot of fun. So that's right here in the Blue Bowl as well, 7 to 9 tomorrow night. Check that out.
Blue Bowl got it going on.
Blue Bowl got it going on. Yeah. See, that's why they were calling it. She was like, "Where Charles at?"
Him.
What's all this sports talk? Where Charles? Yeah, but you check it out, Cedric.
I will.
Find out why
do that.
she was calling in for Charles.
But, Charles do this.
Yeah, but his show is definitely amazing. He's been a guest on our show for a couple of times. He did 25 years in prison. So
wow.
And you would never know. He's so astute and just a gentleman, just an amazing guy.
Wow.
So King Charles question of the week. I think that's what it's called. What it's called. But anyway, back to our show. I just had to get that little plug. You know what I'm saying? Look out for my peeps.
We'll pay you when we leave.
But back to what we were talking about. We were talking about the man cave mentality, and before the break, you were saying that there are rules.
Yes,
in the man cave.